Welcome back to the Golden Boot, the Sportybleather Tactical Breakdown. I'm Faisal.
And I'm Jade. And today we are doing something a little different. This is our brand new series, Pure Tactical Analysis. No transfer gossip, no banter. Just football, broken down properly.
Matchday 1 of the 2026 World Cup is done. All 48 teams have played. And already, this tournament is delivering. We've had a 7-1 demolition, a Messi hat-trick, Ronaldo looking lost, and Cape Verde goalkeeper becoming an internet celebrity overnight.
So let's get into it. Proper tactical breakdown. Who looked brilliant? Who needs to worry? And what are the themes defining this tournament so far?
Starting with the standout performers. Germany, 7 goals against Curacao. Now I know what you're thinking, Curacao aren't exactly Bayern Munich. But the way Germany played was genuinely impressive. Jamal Musiala was electric. Havertz got 2. Kimmich controlled the tempo completely. They pressed in waves, they varied the tempo, and they punished every single mistake.
What stood out for me with Germany was their pressing triggers. They weren't pressing constantly. That's old-school gegenpressing. They were patient in their own shape, waiting for specific moments. A poor touch, a backwards pass under pressure, the goalkeeper on the ball. And then, bang. 3 or 4 players converging immediately. Clinical.
And that's the modern evolution of pressing, isn't it? It's not about running more than the other team. It's about pressing smarter. Identifying the trigger and committing bodies at exactly the right moment.
Exactly. And Germany have the personnel for it. Musiala and Gundogan in that midfield 3. They're intelligent movers. They don't just press, they cut passing lanes while they press. Opponents end up going backwards or sideways, and then Germany pounce.
Right. Now let's talk France. 3-1 against Senegal. Mbappe with a brace. And tactically, this was a masterclass from Deschamps in a very different way to Germany.
France don't want to dominate possession. That's the thing people misread about them. They're perfectly happy sitting in a mid-block, letting you have the ball, and then hitting you on the transition at terrifying speed.
Mbappe in transition is arguably the most dangerous attacking scenario in world football right now. The moment France win the ball back, especially in their own half, it's almost like watching a sprinter off the blocks. He's gone before the opposition can even reset.
And Deschamps set up to maximise that. Compact defensive shape, narrow midfield, minimal risk in possession. And the moment they turn the ball over, vertical immediately. Don't hold it, don't recycle. Find Mbappe's run, or find the pocket runner between the lines.
Senegal actually had moments in that game. They're a quality side. But France's defensive transition, the speed with which they got back into shape, meant Senegal's best moments came to nothing.
Now Norway. Erling Haaland's World Cup debut. 4-1 against Iraq. 2 goals. And tactically, Norway are fascinating because they're not a typical Scandinavian side anymore. This isn't Route 1 football.
No, Ståle Solbakken has built something really interesting. Yes, Haaland is the focal point. Everything runs through him in the final third. But the midfield creativity around him is genuine. Odegaard pulling strings, Nusa and Bob stretching play, Sorloth as the alternative threat.
What I loved was how Norway used Haaland's movement to create space for others. He dragged 2 centre-backs with him constantly, and that left pockets for Odegaard to receive and turn. Iraq couldn't deal with both threats simultaneously.
And then Argentina. Messi. Hat-trick. 16 World Cup goals. Ties Klose for the all-time record. 3-0 against Algeria.
Look, Argentina are still built around Messi, but at 38, they've had to adapt his role. He's not pressing from the front anymore. He's dropping deeper, receiving between the lines, and then driving forward or threading the final ball. The team do the running for him.
And it works because the players around him, DePaul, McAllister, Almada, are absolutely relentless. They press, they cover ground, they win the ball back. And then they find Messi in space, and it's game over. Scaloni has been brilliant at managing Messi's load while keeping him decisive.
Algeria actually had a decent defensive structure in the first 20 minutes. But Messi's movement, the way he drifts into unexpected positions, is impossible to plan for. You can set your shape against a static target. You cannot set your shape against genius in motion.
Now let's talk about the concerns. And we have to start with Portugal. 1-1 with DR Congo. Ronaldo was rendered completely ineffective. 0 shots on target. DR Congo swarmed him every time he touched the ball. Double-marked, sometimes triple-marked in the box.
And the issue is structural. Portugal's entire attacking system is built around service to Ronaldo. The wide players look for him. The crosses come to him. The set pieces are for him. When DR Congo neutralised him, they neutralised the entire Portugal attack.
João Neves scored early, and Portugal should have been comfortable. But because every attacking action funneled through Ronaldo, and Ronaldo was being swallowed up, Portugal couldn't find a second goal. And then Wissa equalized just before half-time.
The debate now is, do you keep starting Ronaldo, or do you give Gonçalo Ramos more minutes? Portugal have the squad. They have the quality, but tactically they need to be less predictable, less reliant on one man who opponents have now clearly figured out.
And then Spain, 0-0 against Cape Verde. The Cape Verde goalkeeper Vozinha was absolutely sensational. Gained 2 million followers overnight, apparently. But Spain were also tactically flat.
Without a genuine number 9, Spain over-circulated the ball. Beautiful possession, lots of sideways passes, very few penetrating runs in behind. Cape Verde held a low block, and Spain had no answer for it.
Lamine Yamal came on and gave them something. But they need him from the start. And they need someone making runs in behind to pull defenders out of shape and create gaps for the midfield runners.
Brazil also drew with Morocco, 1-1. And Morocco were the better side for long spells. That's a serious concern for Ancelotti.
Brazil's midfield looked disjointed. There's no clear ball winner, no one who sets the tempo. Rodrigo and Vinicius were isolated up front because the midfield wasn't creating the transitions quickly enough. Morocco pressed them high, and Brazil didn't have the answers.
Ancelotti needs to find a midfield pairing that gives Brazil both protection and verticality. Right now, they look like a team with incredible individual talent, but no clear collective identity.
Right, let's get into the big tactical theme of Week 1, and for me, it's this. Transition speed is the defining factor of this tournament so far.
Completely agree. The teams winning games are not the ones that dominate possession longest. They're the ones that transition from defence to attack fastest, and from attack to defence fastest.
Germany, France, Argentina, England. All 4 of those sides win the ball back and immediately go vertical. No messing around. No slow build-up to reset. They spot the transition moment and they exploit it before the opponent can reorganize.
And defensively, the same teams are brilliant at killing transitions. The moment they lose the ball, they press immediately. Not to win it back necessarily, but to slow the opposition's counterattack. By 10 seconds, get back into shape, then defend properly.
The second theme is high pressing being targeted. Several teams in this tournament are deliberately inviting the press from big sides, letting them press high and then playing through them or going direct over the top to exploit the space left behind.
Morocco did it to Brazil. Cape Verde did it to Spain. You invite them, you absorb the press, and then you spring the counter. Against bigger possession-based sides who leave spaces in behind when they commit bodies forward, that's a legitimate tactical approach.
And the third theme, and this one's important for the knockout rounds, is the expanded format changing how teams manage their group games. With 48 teams, a draw in Game 1 is no longer a disaster. You see teams being more conservative in openers, protecting their legs, not overextending.
Which creates cautious games like Spain versus Cape Verde. But it also means teams that win their opener, Germany, France, Argentina, England, Norway, have a huge psychological advantage going into Matchday 2.
Exactly. The table stakes feel different with 16 groups. But once the knockouts start, all of that changes.
Final verdicts from Matchday 1?
Germany and Argentina are the early frontrunners. France are clinical. Norway are dangerous. England look exciting under Tuchel. Portugal need a tactical reset around or without Ronaldo. Spain need Yamal from minute 1. Brazil have been warned.
And don't sleep on the African sides. Ghana, Morocco, Ivory Coast, Senegal. This continent is representing at this World Cup.
That is your Matchday 1 tactical breakdown right here on the Golden Boot. If you want the daily results, transfers and banter, that's on the main Golden Boot feed. This series, pure tactics, pure analysis.
Subscribe, follow us on Facebook. We're Sportybleather, and we'll see you for the Matchday 2 tactical breakdown.
Let's go!